Hi, my name is Harvey. I'm a cloud solution architect for partners who specialises in data platform and analytics in the practice development unit at Microsoft. Some people consider me the wrong person to ask about best practices because best practices in themselves develop over a long time, over a relatively consistent set of tooling. So if you take relational databases, for example, they've been around long enough that we have a coagulated set of best practices about how to run a relational database. If you take data science, machine learning, or cloud, a lot of these techniques haven't been around long enough for best practice to fully establish. They haven't been around long enough to become a bit boring, is another way to put that. So you have to think about what works, what you can make work, what you can learn along the way, how you establish your own practice, as opposed to seeking out and researching best practice. So if you take something like operationalization of a machine learning model in the retail sector, you'll find a small number of people who say they've done it. They might not want to share how they did it, but at least you know it's possible. So make something that works for you. Make your practice. Don't necessarily seek best practice. And from a code perspective, it's the same. Working is better than perfect. So people who know me, they may consider me to be banging the drum on this one when it comes to data in particular. Empathy is key. People who forget empathy have a much tougher time. If you're going into an organization, let's say you've just been hired as a data scientist, you're going to come in as a relatively expensive resource. You're going to come in with a lot of expectations placed against you. So you're going to feel under a lot of pressure to perform, so you're going to try and start and you're going to try and be successful quickly. The problem with that is success on your own terms when you haven't learned the needs and you don't understand the people you're working with will make that success much harder to achieve. If you can bring everybody along on the journey, if you can make everybody understand and care about your work, then you'll be successful much more quickly than if you try and just be successful bringing those skills that they hired you for onto the table right away. Understand the people, because the people are not necessarily scientists, they're not necessarily programmers, they're not necessarily technical in any way. So as a data scientist, you need to understand that and understand the people that you're going to affect with the work that you do. So that's number one. And it's always my number one for a data scientist. Number two is success comes from failure. So go in there, try something small, don't expect it to work, and see what happens. This can be just getting a piece of data. So going to an organization and saying, right, I want to do this on this data, can I have it? And somebody says, yeah, go and talk to them. And you hear, yeah, go and talk to them 5 or 6 times before you find the person who's actually able to give you access to that data. Maybe it'll be a large organization and there are permissions issues. Maybe there are problems around things like GDPR and regulation, for example, that will block you getting access to certain pieces of data. You need those failures to build up before you will find success. And embrace that, that's a good thing. The business needs to understand that. And thirdly, again, cloud first, cloud native. Don't just stick yourself in somebody's server because they give you access. You'll hit scalability issues, you'll do a project once, it will fester and it will die somewhere in a corner. Go into the cloud. It's not that expensive, it's much lower in terms of total cost for ownership, and it'll give you the scalability you need when you are successful, not to be blocked to roll it out to the rest of the business. So just to recap, you've got empathy, you've got fail fast and learn quickly, and you've got cloud first and cloud native. So why Pivigo? Well, I met Pivigo in a previous job at an event where I was speaking, and I was approached. I didn't know them from any other organisation. But as I got to know the people involved, all the way through to Kim herself, I found them to be a really strong team, really great people doing something really important for the industry. And personally, I think if you can find the opportunity to work with great people doing a great thing in whatever way possible, whatever job I'm doing myself, that's what life's all about. And so having the opportunity to work with Pivigo is important to me, and I think it's a great thing to be involved in.